So I've been absolutely blasting the launch as of late, and just the other day on stream, or I guess a few hours ago at this point, we tackled the level 70 Capstone Dungeon at level 55 as a rogue. Now, I've seen so many people try to group play this. I saw Rob try to do it, and they did actually do it, but they kind of group revived. They had a full group in there. And here, I'm just soloing it because of how strong the rogue is, and because we broke the mechanics of the dungeon here, which is really, really fun to see. Now, what we're doing is we're running the exact same build that I've showcased so many times on this channel with the Poison Imbue single target burst damage build. It is by far the strongest single target kind of combo that I've seen in the level 1 to 100 process, and it doesn't even come close realistically. Now, with this, you'll see I will destroy the boss faster than what I've seen anyone else do, just because of how strong these mechanics are, which is super, super exciting. So again, we're level 55 here, and let me show you what we decided to do. So I was experimenting with this, and look at what happens. You can actually throw down traps beforehand and run out of the dungeons extremely quickly. This allows you to place the trap, wait for the fight in progress to drop down, and because Elias here has to spawn, you get time to run back and place another trap. And the poison trap, you can actually have 4 different traps out as the base version. Pretty amazing so far, okay? But this is only part 1, because the other parts that we're doing is we're going to be abusing the inner sight, despite the nerfs to inner sight, to give us unlimited energy for a short period of time, in conjunction with a couple of legendary items. Now, I don't actually have all of them available on my account right now, but for example, we're going to be using Bursting Venoms here. When we crit strike with Poison Imbue skills, we have a 10% chance to create a toxic pool that's going to give us no cooldown on our Poison Imbuement. This is super important to get massive burst damage out. We're also running the standard like Twisting Blades, Blade Dancers. We have the Corruption, which is going to increase our imbuement skill effects against vulnerable enemies, and we're going to have permanent vulnerable due to puncture, right? And so this is just absolutely absurd. There's a couple of other legendary items that I was running in that clip, but I was running a lot of damage reduction from Disobedience and Might. But as you'll see here as I continue onwards, we're going to be placing all 4 traps, and we are going to absolutely burst this boss down like an absolute madman. Like, this is the fastest that I've seen so far, which is really, really fun to do. So we're going to place our last poison trap here, and depending on how this works, or depending on how you line up your Elias fight, he can actually walk out of the poison fields. You want to keep him in there as much as you possibly can, but sometimes it just doesn't work. So honestly, even though this is kind of like breaking the dungeon, it wasn't even the main portion of how much damage we were able to do. So you can see me bursting down, and just watch this, okay? So we start here, and he starts to walk out of the poison fields because we've dropped it on him, right? But if you look here, we are currently at, let me just scroll back to the beginning of the fight here. And we will walk in here, and the fight begins at 2:48. So 2:48, and this lasts for a very, very short period of time. So we're going to absolutely blast it with all of our skills here. Proc our Poison Imbuement, proc our Shadow Clones, try to get the infinite Poison Imbuement, and you see there where our Poison Imbuement actually glows. Let me just skip back, trying to get all the information for you all here. When your Poison Imbuement glows like that, that means it's infinitely scaling, or rather infinite uses when you're in that pool. So we're able to spam it, and look at the poison damage on this. Look at that, it just gets annihilated. Solo 55, not like min-max build by any means, just some legendary aspects I managed to scrap up together, and some sacred gear I managed to get to world tier 3, and we obviously had to avoid some of the damage and make sure that we didn't get killed, and there you go, it dies 2:14. So it took about 30 seconds to kill the boss, and that was actually a majority of that time was spent running away from all the mechanics, because you can see here that massive burst damage. Watch once again here the poison tick. So this is the poison tick right here. Watch what happens as we start to spam out our skills with the infinite poison. Look at the poison damage on this. It is ridiculously strong. It is so cool, so fun to see, and you could do this with any sort of class that might have some sort of pre-set up trap. As far as I know, the rogue really has the best options with like poison trap if you wanted to run death trap. it's not going to work as well. Poison trap tends to work a little bit better, but you can run just a bunch of poison traps, place it on there, abuse the twisting blades. You might be able to do this with, I don't know, some other class that might be able to set down something beforehand. Not really quite sure what comes to mind off the top of my head, but if any of you have any suggestions, you could do the same thing. Because the boss takes time to spawn, my guess is that Blizzard might, fix this in the future, but this is really, really fun to see. And we're able to kill the level 70 boss in 30 seconds as a level 55 rogue. Pretty insane what the rogue is capable of doing when you start to min-max the build. And again, this is only due to the fact that Poison Imbue is this build. If you're running like a Trapper build, if you're running some sort of ranged rogue build, you're not going to come close to this. This is the highest single target damage, bar none, that I've seen, especially even at this point in the game when you don't even need a bunch of legendary aspects, but if you get them, it goes even more crazy like this. So thanks for watching, everyone. I just wanted to showcase this because a lot of us had a ton of fun going through the Capstone Dungeon at level 55 here. And you can see here at the end, we beat it. And we ended up unlocking our world tier 4, which was pretty cool. So managed to do that. Been farming world tier 4 kind of ever since, getting some ancestral pieces. I've been doing a mix of tier 3 and tier 4 based on kind of what I wanted to do. And that's been the story so far. So I'll give you future updates on what's going on here and my experiences so far with the launch of Diablo 4. Stay tuned, sub to the channel, guys, and I'll see you all the next one.